Yeah, I'm just feeling to ask Jesus about what mystical experiences are, so I'm just going to record that. See, yeah, mystical experience is communion with infinite love that's always available, like vast, infinite love that we always are. And it's beyond words, actually. I'm seeing that it's beyond words. As the spiritual journey, like going on the spiritual journey, I can just remember seeing various beings that would talk about mystical experience and go, well, what's that? I don't know what that is. And we're actually always having mystical experiences. They're just an idea that mystical. Oh my gosh. Mystical being union with the source of everything. That's really funny, actually. Very human. Because, and how simple it is. Like, there's always like this idea that there's like a big bang, like there is a big bang that creates the world. That's the humor of it. But yeah, that it would be some kind of major flash of light, and all the lights would go out, and how easily that communion is covered over, like the whole idea that communion can be covered over by these ideas that there's not communion actually happening, that it isn't a continual mystical experience. That's very humbling. Wow, that union's always available with God. And I can see along the way there would be, sometimes you don't even realize it's a mystical experience. Because I can see there's like so much identification with the idea of a person, or, yeah, being in the K, being an object, actually. That I remember one time I was staying out at, at Living Miracles, actually, after a retreat. And I heard from Jesus not to get on the plane, not to get on the plane and fly back, which is very unusual to fly back home after a retreat. And that was a surprise, because at that time, seemingly, like, the idea was so organized, like, to not do things that would be very spontaneous like that was, I would say, was very unusual. And I've been at that retreat with David Hoffmeister, and I called them up, and they were really beautiful about letting me stay at a house near the airport in Salt Lake City, anyway. And just a number of things happened after the retreat. One was, this is very humbling. Jesus appeared in a vision, a mystical vision, and washed my feet, which was still, even when I think about it, it's very, very humbling, deeply humbling to have that vision. You know how the Spirit works with us. So, and then there was an experience of no thought, but I didn't know what that was. Like, what is that? Like, um, I couldn't make a grocery list, actually. So for the one who was the planner and the lister and making a list of everything, it was like a surprise. Like, there was no thought. And there was actually a thought that no thought, well, there was a problem with no thought. And what I see, that was just like this vast experience of emptiness. It was not seen as the self, as ourselves, in that mysticism. It's mystical. Like, I can see how the idea about that communion moves in really fast. And then it becomes a story of a mystical experience I had um, when I was younger, or this is something that happened to me. It's like it congeals into an objective experience when a mystical, like that union, is non-objective. It, it, it's always here. And yeah, so it's just simple. Like I was expecting the bells and the lights, but sometimes it's just really simple, and it's I guess the best words I can say is just this reacclimation to love, which is funny to say, to reacclimate to this vast love. But I guess that's really where the fear comes in, of vastness of this infinite love. And almost trying to describe it is makes it feel like objective experience, like it's something that happened to a person. And it's just so much love, like seeing that impossibility. Yeah, I just keep hearing simplicity. It's the simplicity of it. Yes, so many ideas here about wanting a mystical experience or show me God, and it just feels like as soon as those ideas start dropping away of what it's supposed to look like, even a mystical experience. And it reminds me of a very helpful story that Muji told, like of I think it was a sage. I don't know if I can remember it exactly, but there's something about it that's really precious and helpful to think about here. But this sage, she was becoming a sage in very deep meditation, looking very deep in identity, and you know, all these visions were appearing, and then the songs would be these songs of angelic nature would sing. And I'm seeing how those are like the concepts. That's this moving experience in the world of things moving and really being attached to something that moves and changes. And like mystical experience will be something spectacular in the changing, when it's really, mysticism is the unchanging. Because God, this infinite love, is just really unchanging love. And letting go of every idea I have about what that is. That's every idea about what anything is. And the simplicity of that. And what mysticism looks like my eyes may hurt right now, like it seems like they're pain in the eyes, like it's like, is that caused by something? And when I ask, it's like, no, it's not caused by anything. It's not caused. Boy, what I'm hearing is it's really being open to how love makes an appearance, how it appears in form. But these like these visions of Jesus, or that was helpful. That was the way Jesus in the mind, I can see, was making it really clear. Yes, I'm with you always. And how these, you're called to this actually, and how the spirit moves with each being. Like I'm hearing all these stories about mystical experience and how Jesus is showing me, and this is how I don't know anything. And, all these reflections are coming and coming of how not knowing anything at all is the happiness, when that sounded terrible. And now how that starts to just feel so natural, like restful, not to know anything. And just staying with that great vast love, just resting as that. It's humbling. The lion and the lamb, like the infinite power of the lion laying down with the lamb of innocence, how powerful that symbol was, and Jesus sharing that. This, and how deep these lessons are with Jesus, and how precious they are. Amen.